Hey, you guys want a donut? Donut? Help yourself.
Good morning, all. I'd like to call the meeting to order.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Do I hear any public comments for the action items before we go?
Oh, thank you. Wow, there's 5 there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. You missed the pledge. Oh, they can't hear you. Excuse me. I'm just gonna reach. I think that we can probably hear you now, but maybe if somebody just says hello.
Howdy, folks.
Oh,
All right, we can hear you. Okay, so let's start over again. Public comments for action items only before the vote. Do I have any public comments?
I only have one question. Do you have the contracts for what you're voting on for the Children and Youth Service, the contracts? Do you have those?
Yep.
Is there a way I can take a look at those before you vote on them?
You had yesterday at 10 a.m. when we posted them until the meeting
Well, I
started.
don't know if they're confidential either. Are we voting
Are
on?
they?
I can't
You don't know what they're.
We have them available until we always had another meeting. From 10 o'clock when we post until today's meeting, you are welcome to come in here and look at any of those. And then if you want copies of them, we'll be glad to do them.
Yeah, I'd like to get a copy of those, please.
No problem. I'm just scanning over them real quick. Some of them have adoptions and things, and we're not allowed to share those. But I think all of these are okay. Right. No problem. I'll have her make a copy for you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're kind of lengthy, they're 25 cents a copy.
That's,
Huh? Yeah, oh, I pay a copy for each copy, yeah. Lori, you make a copy of all these?
well, I'll let you know that I'll make a quick objection. That stuff's supposed to be available to us. That's already been paid for by my taxes. That's supposed to be available to me and by attendees, for the attendees.
Oh, yeah, we'll be glad to make them.
Yeah, but I'm not going to pay a separate fee. My fee's already been paid. You understand? My objection's made. I'm not paying a fee for those.
Lori should take a copy.
Then don't make copies, Lori.
So if you're not going to make me a copy, you're restricting my ability to view these.
Well, no, you can view them first. Yeah.
Well, then I'd like to view them then.
Is there anything else in there besides?
No, I'm not okay. Nothing.
Okay, any other comments? You
I
away.
was gonna bring them over.
That's okay. I'll get it. Thank you.
Okay.
You know what? Can I say something before we start the meeting?
Absolutely.
I just wanted, the last few days have been pretty stressful for our EMA, our 911s, and I just wanted to publicly say thank you. From all of us. We've been without 911 phone systems. They've had everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. But amongst it all, they were able to keep everything running. They changed over the phone lines, and we just, on behalf of the commissioners, I want to say thank you for all their hard work and everything that they've done.
I agree with that 100%. We all.
I didn't want to forget to do that.
It's been a rough week
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
So, okay, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the August 29th, 2023 and September 7th, 2023 meetings?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
So moved. Amber Franco, Chief Clerk. Attorney Paul Whitman, Solicitor.
Nothing.
Commissioners' Activity Report. Let me put on my readers here again. Okay, since the last meeting, we had a meeting with Homestead Bank to discuss a possible relationship between their bank and Wyoming County. We had a regional EMS Zoom meeting. We had a Claberack annual meeting with the Wyoming County Fair, the fair opening ceremony, and the veteran ceremony at the fair. We had a CCAP 911 update. Somebody's on twice, and there's all kinds of feedback. I don't know who's going.
I can read this. I can do it.
Which, then they can't
Oh,
talk.
then they can't hear us either, yeah.
Yeah, somebody's got two devices on. They got
They said all
the
that power I
feedback
want
on
to
there.
use it.
We had I think I said a CCAP 911 update, which is spelled wrong, it's not enough gas. The Keystone College joint meeting with the finance and enrollment committees. The Creekside Park Sports and Auction to benefit the park. That ended up being a great day up there. The weather held out, it was supposed to rain all day, so that was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
And Nicholson Bridge Day, same thing, was supposed to rain all day, and it did not. So we had two very, very lucky days, thank God for the
Yeah.
weather people screwing up. We had a mandatory bid meeting for the tree and brush removal at the Ag Building, and that had to been rescheduled. It was rescheduled for a week from yesterday at 10 a.m. because of the inclement weather. We had a NACO Ag Committee meeting, a Habitat for Humanity's meeting, an emergency food and shelter meeting, and a grandparents' day at the Methodist Manor. Upcoming in the next 2 weeks, we have a Penn State Extension meeting later today, an opioid settlement meeting later today, and a meeting about the drop-in center. That's tomorrow, or is that today? No, that's today
No,
too,
I
isn't it?
did not do that.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
We have a Northern Tier Regional Planning and Development Commission Loan Committee meeting. We have the Senior Expo. You guys have been who's here from the press, everybody?
Yeah.
You guys have been doing a little advertising for that, I guess. That's Friday at 10 or is it 11?
Yeah.
Friday at 10 o'clock
That's right, well.
at the school.
Okay.
And, pardon me?
The treasurer.
Oh, it's a train this year, because we've had it at the school before. Well, that would have been the wrong place. Thank God we talked about that. The White House on Warren Street as an open house at 11 a.m. on September 15th. You guys might want to go to that. You may have heard about it already. The recycling event is this weekend. You can still call the recycling center and make an appointment. They do 15-minute, I believe, groups, so it's not a problem, makes it a lot easier. Touch a Truck at Lazy Brook is this weekend. The 200th anniversary of Eagle Baptist Church. Community picnic is from 3 to 6 on Sunday, September 17th. 200 years ago, that's a long, long time for that church to be there. We have a NACO Finance and Pensions Committee meeting. Geisinger, boy, I was typing terrible today. Geisinger Regional Meeting, and that's at Glenmora, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on 9/19. And then they have a Geisinger Clinic reception at their new building. An RSVP is required, and there's a link to it, or call that phone number. Tom Henry is represented speaking at the state capitol for Recover Advocacy Day. That's coming up next week.
If anybody wants to know anything about that, they can contact me. I'm excited and nervous at the same time. We're gonna represent some candidates. There's about 6 of us speaking. Senator John Kane, Representative Jim Gregory, myself, Secretary Dr. Latika Davis of the Department of Drug and Alcohol. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to represent Wyoming County and let them know of all the great things that have been happening here. It's wonderful.
Yes, it is. And give us some selfies.
Yeah.
The Township Convention is in the Triton Host Company. The Hope Coalition meeting is coming up. We have a Quiggett meeting coming up. And Ag Day at the Fair. That's an all-day event coming up. I'm not sure the date on that, but you guys in the press all know about that. So that's what we have coming up the next couple of weeks. Plus, I will be in Colorado for my son's wedding. I can't wait for that. I'll be leaving next Thursday. So I will be at the next meeting via Zoom. So,
Ag Days at the Fair is on Wednesday the 20th.
and that's at the fair.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so these are announcements.
All day?
Yeah, all day.
Start 9?
I think 9-ish. Yeah.
And it goes pretty much the whole day, but to be honest with you, get there in the morning because it starts slowing down usually after noon, 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So we're gonna go up for about an hour in the morning probably, But in the afternoon, it pretty much dies out. The vendors even start leaving when it gets slower, so the morning is the time to be there.
And then at night is our fall convention, all the townships here at the training. After that.
Okay, some of the things to announce here. The Nicholson Tourism Center received a Receipt of Leadership Award for Public Impact. It was quite an honor to them. Anybody that was at the Nicholson event, the Nicholson Bridge Days, the tourism center was open. They had a huge crowd of people coming in all day. It was great. They had several hundred people that walked through there over the weekend. They told me. So that was great. If anybody gets a chance, if you haven't been there, get up there and see that tourism center. It's absolutely beautiful. It's the old depot and train station that's right on Route 11, just kind of off of Route 11.
It was,
And,
10 years in the making too. And we've all worked really hard on that, and, we're all really proud of it, and so are the folks in
It's
Nicholson.
amazing.
Well,
They got all kinds of
yeah.
pictures
Those
and
two
displays
ladies,
and all kinds of
12 years.
Yep.
Marion Sweet
And
and
Joe
Joe
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
stuff.
12 years they worked on that.
Okay, and we need to announce the receipt of $29,970 in food for distribution. That came from the PA Department of Agriculture from, this is their annual report, from July 1st of 22 through June 30th of 23. That was food that they donated that we passed out to regional that was passed out through regional sources here, CEO, the food center here on Warren Street, number of different things, but they gave almost $30,000, which is amazing. And that's in addition to all the other things that they do. That's extra that we sent out. Okay, now, the action taken at the last meeting. This was totally changed because of inclement weather. The bid opening date is staying the same. The mandatory meeting has changed to next week, September 18th at 10:30 a.m. We announced the bid opening date for the courthouse furnace, the existing gas lines. That's still set for the 26th. We voted to accept the resignation as Deputy Sheriff Eric Janicesky with a lateral move back to his former corrections officer position at the jail. We voted to hire Linda Vandermark to a position of caseworker 1 and Stephen Y to fill an open position.
Lisa,
What did I say?
Lisa, but that's all right. I just didn't want anybody,
Oh, it is Lisa, right?
yeah, yep.
No, I had it written down right. I said it wrong.
Right.
It's been a long week.
No. I just,
We
I didn't mean to correct it.
That's all
I
right.
wanted to make sure we didn't.
We voted to amend the right to know law policy to add Amber Franco, chief clerk, as the right to know officer, and DA Joseph Peters for any items concerning the criminal investigative reports, the records.
Smiling.
She's real happy about that, you know. Yeah, you give me daggers every day over that move. We voted to proclaim September 18th to 23rd as Family Literacy Week. We voted to disperse grant funds from ARP funds for 20% portion of the program to reintroduce chestnut trees. Total project cost is $31,000, and the county is giving 20%, approximately $6,000. We voted to purchase updated computers for the sheriff's department to replace 5 that are now 7 years old, and that came out of Act 13 funds. We voted to update the mileage reimbursement rate to the current IRS federal rate of $6.55 a mile. We voted to approve CNY service contracts, and we voted to approve adoption assistance agreement for a female child. Action items to be acted on today. We need to discuss and approve the hiring of Sierra Knott as telecommunicator trainee. I'll make that motion. Do we have any discussion?
She went through all the courses, and everything.
Yeah,
She's all set.
she's all set
Yep.
to be
I'll
done.
second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So move. Discuss and approve accepting bids for the 911 ad items on municipal bid that ended yesterday. We have a list of those. Here we are.
I got it. Oh, you got it.
I guess we all got that.
Okay.
We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different items. Most of them were very minor. There were just some things that were laying around that hadn't been used, some light bars, and I don't even know what an arrow stick is. Do you guys know what an arrow stick is?
I can only imagine it points for people in a direction or something. I mean, it must be
Anyway,
something we don't use.
We got $76 from them. They weren't worth much anyway. But the big item on there, we had a 1986 International that we thought we were probably gonna get about $1,000 for. We got $8,100 for
It was amazing.
it. Yeah, I was shocked when we got that price.
Oh, yeah, we couldn't believe it. 1986 truck.
Yeah, so do we hear a motion to, and it hasn't been used in quite some time, it's just been sitting there, so that's extra money to the county. Do we hear a motion to accept these bids?
I'll make that one.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved. We declared on 9/5 a disaster declaration for the flooding disaster of 8/18 that affected Fulton, Washington, and Lemon Townships. We need to formally vote on that, because it was a disaster declaration, we did not have to have it at a meeting. So let's make it official and formally vote on it today. I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Yep, go ahead.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Another disaster declaration because of the flooding event over the past weekend. This one has not been signed yet. This affected numerous county townships. There's been a lot of damage. I don't know, 4 or 5 bridges are out, or at least damaged very extensively, as well as a lot of road damage. So we need to, there's any discussion on that. I mean, it's a mess out there. Our guys have been going crazy. PennDOT's been involved, all the townships have been all over the place working hard. Ran into a bunch of them yesterday.
So in order for us to get the funds, we have to sign a declaration. So if they become available or insurance comes available.
And there's a meeting going on right now with all of the different counties. It's actually started started at 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, a Zoom meeting with all the counties. And all of our EMS people were there, and we're trying to get a federal disaster. And we'll talk to you about that later. And very important to help us push that through there, Coach. And there are some places, like just one place, the fairgrounds, $5 million worth of damage. I mean, the damage is massive in our entire area here. So I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So move. Discuss and vote on the CNY contracts. These are just normal, what we had last year, redoing them again this year. Do I hear a motion? No, that was had a chance for.
Oh, okay, great. I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So move. Okay, any public comment on non-action items?
You know what, I just want to remind people that this month is Suicide Prevention Month, like literature and things available. We've changed the lighting out in the courtyard here to reflect that. I don't know if there's anything else. Local taverns and local businesses and restaurants have taken our coasters that we got through the
Mental health and developmental service.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't talk all of a sudden. So local restaurants have done that with the 911, or that 288 988 number on there. So if anybody wants to reach out, God, I hope they don't call me for the number, but it's out there, and I just want to let people know John has hooked me up with all those things, and I take them around to the restaurants and things, and so you should see them out there. That's it. I just wanted to throw that in. I just had to think about it.
Just as a reminder, the planning commission meeting is not on the third Wednesday this month because of the township.
Oh, okay.
It's on the fourth.
So the fourth
It's on the
Wednesday,
27th
Okay.
instead of the 20th.
planning board.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Mark Murphy from Lackawanna Trail School District. I'm here with board member Tracy Westcott. We're here today to generate some awareness and ask maybe for the commissioner's assistance. We have a traffic and safety issue at the bottom of Funnel Hill Road and 6 and 11. We've had a history of automobile accidents involving our students and families down there. Ms. Westcott has reached out to several agencies trying to coordinate an effort for a feasibility study to see what can be done there, flashing light, a stop lights, and some signage and things like that. So basically, we're here today to ask if you have any guidance for us, if you can be an assistance. We're looking to make this an actionable item. Seems like there does need to be a feasibility study done, which is fairly expensive. No grant monies have come available.
So you have information on all this
Yes.
that we could go forward and maybe pass along to the right folks for
And
this.
have you talked to a state representative?
I have.
And how
So
about Lisa Baker, our state senator?
I
She sits
have
on the
not-
PennDOT committee.
I have
Yes,
not
she
talked to
does.
the state senator. I did start with PennDOT, and
Okay.
they told me the process for making the study. It has to come from Clinton Township. It has to be activated by a town, not
Okay.
the school district.
Okay.
And in order to start that and have the letter, you have to have guaranteed funding in place for a minimum of $150,000. That's the cost of a light. It could be up to $200,000. So for Clinton Township, that's a significant
Wait a
amount of
minute,
money.
wait a minute. With a state road,
Mhm.
Clinton Township has to pay for it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to pay
Yeah.
for the light.
Oh, yeah.
So your
but
face is
that's
exactly
still-
like mine was.
Right,
That's
right.
exactly
But
what we
that's
thought.
still not a hindrance. I mean, we can still go and ask for that. I mean, like, and we can, I'm not saying we have to vote on it, but
Well,
that's
shopping
not a
center's
lot to
little bit
guarantee.
different.
I mean,
Okay.
we could,
There's an intersection coming out of the
I mean,
school.
it could happen. I mean, we're
On
not
two state
opposed.
roads.
Right.
Huh?
On 2 state roads.
Yeah, it's
The
still,
two state roads.
yeah, it's still a municipality.
Yeah, if you're putting in a new
It's gonna
business,
protect-
okay, and it's
Children.
going to create a problem. I can understand where the owner of that business has to do it. I know exactly what you're talking. That's a terrible place.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still,
The perfect place to put a red light.
it still ends up, even though those lights were maybe initially put in by the development,
Right.
it still falls on the municipality for the long-term maintenance of
And it did also at DNC and everything
Yep.
too. I remember
At
going through
DNC
all that.
And at the
and
intersection here of the
because
bypass,
the-
the transfer facility.
The
and all
township
that.
wasn't.
Like
happy with
infrastructure
that.
funds.
Don't put him on the
I
spot
got a
here.
card.
Okay, Dave's gonna give
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Because there's a lot of money available from the infrastructure fund. That's federal, but there's no reason that that's something that might work.
We get Northern Tier.
And if you take our emails and send us what you have, we'll pass it on to our state reps and our senators or whoever we need to do that. And maybe we can get involved with something there.
We certainly
Whether it be
appreciate
a guarantee or not, I don't know. I mean, that's something that has to be voted on and discussed, but, we're not opposed to that if people are getting hurt and it could hurt somebody in our.
Yeah,
And
we
at
really
the
appreciate it.
at the very least, we can certainly support.
Right.
Thank
You know,
Okay.
not, I mean, you know, that's $2 up anyway,
Right.
but
No, it-
sometimes us pushing something helps,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's a big part of what we do, is getting behind projects and calling coach over here and don't get working on it.
We do have
Those kind of
friends
things.
That have,
friends.
that know people, so I mean, that's really
You
cool.
know, that's the
I mean,
best thing,
I didn't mean
that's
that.
probably the biggest thing we want, something like that.
Yeah, we
But it
really
can be very
appreciate it.
helpful.
Yeah, we
You know?
appreciate it. We just need kind of a coordinated effort. I
And
think
then you
everybody
guys know we've
agrees.
been very good with the trail, you know, we've worked on different projects. with you, so,
Yeah, we
You
really
know, we're
appreciate it.
there for you, just so you know.
Yeah.
I'll follow
Okay.
up.
All right, please, yeah,
Thank you
you can
so
send,
much.
our emails are all the same, just,
You're all our cards.
Yeah,
you.
they're right there,
We'll
anyway.
on the way out.
Thank you very much.
we promise. We'll look
We'll
into
do
it.
what we can to help you.
Yeah.
And Mike is a great resource, okay? He works for Dan Muser, senator, maybe he's gonna be a senator someday.
Soon.
Right now, he's a representative. Dan Muser, this is his local representative, he's a great guy and he'll work hard with you. So, and we'll keep after, don't worry, we bother him every day. So. Okay, any other comments on non-action items?
There's
Some
some
of the
folks,
people, some of you guys have something to say.
there's some folks on Zoom also. If you guys have anything that you want to bring up, most of you are muted, but, if there's anything that's going on that you want to talk about.
Warren Howard is uncharacteristically quiet up there. What's going on, Warren?
Well, real quick, can you guys repeat what streets were the issue that Lackawanna Trail it cut out while they were talking?
It's the intersection of the road that goes up to the school that intersects with Route 11, correct?
Tunnel Hill and
Tunnel
Route
Tunnel
6.
Hill Road, okay. And that's a bad intersection. I pulled out
Oh, it is.
more than once.
Oh, yeah.
And I can imagine with the buses going out how bad it is. That's gotta be terrible. So I'd stay away from there during this time. I don't want any part of it, but, that could definitely be a problem.
Well, I have one last question. Do you guys have like a cost estimate of how much damage was done to the county?
Not
They're
yet.
working on that this morning. That's part of the conversation that they were working on that before the Zoom call started at 9 o'clock. They're getting some guidance on what they need to go and do, but they've been working on that, and believe me, they've been working around the clock, and
Yeah.
it's being worked on.
So not yet, simple answers.
What the thing is, and Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong, once you hit a certain threshold, then it becomes available, federal money becomes available. So they're going out and they are assessing all the damage, they're taking pictures, they're talking to people, talking to all the townships and boroughs, and the state officials and seeing what the damage is in every county in northeastern Pennsylvania that's affected. We're trying to get a federal damage declaration, a disaster declaration, from the feds and see what we can do. That's what is being worked on
Right.
today.
Sometimes if different counties can pool their stuff together and go after it too. Like it,
That's what
right,
that's all about.
yep.
That's
So
a meeting at
that's
9 o'clock
what
today,
it
but
is.
our EMS director is in that. And there's another meeting down in Wilkesboro going on at the same time, so there are a couple of meetings about this going on.
From both events or just the most recent?
Both events, but the first one was more minor. I don't think that's gonna get a federal disaster. It doesn't look like it. The second one was very major.
That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Yeah, I like to give you guys an investigation that we've been doing. I know that you guys probably can't talk about your investigation, but the spy camera that was up inside the gazebo,
Excuse me, there was not a spy camera.
if you don't mind, you're interrupting me. You could talk after. The unmarked spy camera that was up inside the gazebo that the sheriffs who have a understanding to maintain surveillance and security of the courthouse and the grounds, they had no control over it. Some had no idea it was there. They had at least 7 IP addresses that can access it. 1, 2, it had a receiver and it had a transmitter, and it had 120 power to it originally, until for some reason someone put it back up without it plugged in, maybe to make a statement, who knows. But I am glad it is still down. I look forward to the final investigation to find out who put it there, who authorized it to be put there, why it was there, and stuff like that. So I look forward to an end investigation. Thank you.
Anything else?
George,
Yes, sir.
can you share that with me?
Yeah, I sure will. 25 cents a copy. I'll give it to you. No, it's right here, buddy.
Anything else? Anybody on Zoom? Julie? You're quiet too? Oh my God. Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that one.
I'll second it. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
So move.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out.